live. And I'm only planning on being on for about an hour. It's 8 o'clock. I got the kids in bed. I'm going to get some quilting done. And I have my adult grape juice. I'm not sure if it's just grape or what, but I need it. I deserve it. I'm going to have it. And I'm going to have at least an hour just to sit down, relax, and quilt, because I don't do this very often. And today is Thursday, which means I should have had a video out, but sometimes I'm a little less responsible than I should be, which, you know, it happens. Like, sometimes we forget things. I'm just making sure that my live chat is up, that way when you guys do eventually come in here, I can see everything. And I just thought, if nothing else, I can word vomit. I can word vomit about the past year on the homestead, because I was looking at a calendar and I was thinking about it, and Danny and I have lived on this property now for about a year, which means that I have an entire year's worth of experiences to think about and decide whether they were successes or failures, what I did right, what I need to change in this upcoming year, you know, all of that good stuff that I need to like look into, because, you know, it's all about growth. It's all about getting better. And I definitely know that I had some screw ups this year, and that kind of happens with anything in life, especially when you're a baby homesteader that wasn't like brought up or grown up in it. So yeah, a year on the property. It's hard to believe it's been a year, which means I've almost been on YouTube for a year. And in that year, I've gotten, I think my number right now stands at 183 subscribers, which means 183 people care about things that come out of my mouth, and that is kind of terrifying. But it is what it is. I can be mildly entertaining sometimes. But yeah, I've really enjoyed living up here, if nothing else. Although it's cold right now, and there's way too much snow. Like, way too much snow. I cannot stand the amount of snow that just dumps on us sometimes. But it is what it is. Like, I know it's annoying and I don't necessarily like the snow, but it's the only way for us to get precipitation sometimes, because we live in a very dry climate. Hello, my northern garden. I decided to pop in and just like chit chat and like talk about my year on the homestead. If you can believe it, I have been up in the mountains of Colorado for a year, and I can't believe it. And one of the things I am going to get better on this year is my gardening. I'm growing so many potatoes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about the potatoes. I'm going to grow so many. I have 2 raised beds, and they are 12 feet by 5 feet and 2 feet deep. And I'm going to fill both of them with potatoes. I'm so excited. And then this year I also want to do pumpkins. I want to finally get some sunflower. I had sunflower seeds and they were doing well, but I planted them too late because, hi, sweetheart, congrats on your first year. You made it this far. Go you. Thank you so much. 1 year down, and, you know, for all I know, a million to go. Right? A million years. This first year has been a lot of learning experiences, and I am ready to grow from them. I am ready to do better. Hello, Hat Creek Homestead. How are you doing? I'm just thinking about the past year. I'm getting all sentimental, because I am sentimental. I cried this morning because there was a trend on there's this trend going on TikTok, and it's about like your core memories or whatever. And I did one of my eldest and her like cuddling with her cat, right? And she was about a year and a half, 2 years old when I took the video. And I looked at the video and how small Sydney was, and I'm just like, my baby's growing up and I just can't stand. Like I was bawling my eyes out this morning. It was too early for that. It was pre-morning coffee, and I was crying over the fact that my babies are growing up. And I want my babies to grow up, don't get me wrong. But the fact that they are getting so big, I can barely hold the oldest on my lap anymore. It's just like, my babies. But I digress. I will talk about my children all night, and then we will get nothing about homesteading in here. And most people watch me for homesteading, not my parenting. I do okay with the parenting, but I am definitely not a role model. I'm a little too crunchy for most people, and I'm a little too free range the children. Like, I'm just going to like push them off into the yard and be like, they're gonna do something interesting. Wait till they're 13, then you have problems. No, I don't want them to be teenagers. I want them to be small and think like, at least not hate me. Like, I'm not looking forward to the teen years because I know how I was as a teenager, right? I was a horrible teenager. I was mean to my parents. I was mean to my parents. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want karma. No, thank you. I'm not looking forward to 13 with 2 daughters. 13 is a scary year. Tough. Shh. No, I'm gonna call I've told my mother already, right? I told her as soon as they hit teen years, I'm just gonna give them to her. I'm just gonna be like, here, mom, have your grandbabies. And you know, I don't think she was joking when she said she would take it. I was joking, but I don't think my mother was joking. My mother was like, I will take those grandbabies, just give them to me. And I love my mother for that, but Mom, if you are watching this, you cannot have your grandbabies like that. I need time with my babies. But my mom is great. She is a great grandmother. I mean, she is amazing with those babies. But I need my baby time. She can have some time, just not all of it. But yeah, it's really cute to watch the oldest daughter, Sydney, with the homesteading. She loves hunting for eggs and she loves digging in the dirt. She has a very small patch about this big in our garden that she calls her strawberry patch. And I don't have the heart to tell her she's probably not going to grow anything there because I don't think she actually ever put any seeds there. Like, how do you tell a 4 soon to be 5-year-old that nothing's going to grow there? Like, every time I walk in there, she's like, don't step there, mommy, my strawberries are there and you can't step on my strawberries. It's just dirt. Like, there's nothing there, but she swears up and down that. And I killed all of our strawberry plants. I'm hopeful that they'll come back, but I killed those strawberry plants. But and then also, I need to figure out on my garden. We have a 5-foot perimeter fence around it, and then we have a 5-foot perimeter fence around the entire property, right? But we still have a deer problem. Like, those guys can jump. If you saw my TikTok today, you saw how many deer I had in my front yard. We had 7 does just chilling 5 foot from the house, eating. Yesterday I got hay delivered, and they were eating the hay that fell off as we were throwing bales, right? Thor, that is not your blankie. And it was funny because I jumped out there and I went to go chase them off. Thor is a blanket hog. I went to go chase them off, and they just stared at me like I was the problem. Like, why the heck are you, Thor? No. Just a second, guys. I'm gonna go throw Thor out of the room because he is trying to cuddle up to blankets he's not supposed to. Come on, out. Thank you. But yeah, these guys were looking at me bug-eyed like I was in their property, and then the one doe, I went to go chase her off the property because she's eating where she isn't supposed to. I don't like deer on the property. Deer carry disease. They can get my goats sick. They can get my horses sick. I go chase them off, and she's looking at me like I'm the problem. She won't move. I'm yelling, get, and like running after them, and she's just standing there like, I think I need another morsel of food. This looks delicious. Oh, look, a human. Yeah, the human wants you off of her property, but the deer here are really bad, and I've been having problems with them getting into the garden because they jump the fence, and then they jump the other fence, and then they'll eat the sprouting things. They won't even like give me the common courtesy of like waiting until the plants are like big. They'll take the sprouts out the ground. So I'm thinking of how to fix that problem. And I don't know if I need to add electric around the perimeter. I'm thinking I'm gonna get that electrical tape, like the white electric tape in the box, and just put it around the top and see how that works, because I need to get a handle over the deer. The deer are a huge problem, and Dallas is no longer being helpful. It used to be that my mare Dallas would chase the deer off, and we wouldn't have a problem anymore. But now she's a bad girl. Dallas is such a bad girl, like in the best of ways, but she's a naughty mare. So once I get the electrical tape on top of the fence, I think I'll have less problem with the deer. Now, we do have, I think I figured out what our predator is, and that's the next problem I have, right? Is we have this predator problem up here on the mountain. And don't get me wrong, there are a ton of predators. We have foxes, we have raccoons, we have possums, we have mountain lions, we have bobcats, we have bears, we have wild dogs, we have feral cats. Like, the list goes on and on for the amount of predators we have. But yesterday, 2 nights ago, I did my head count on my chickens. They were all there, and I must have missed one slipping out. It was one of our roosters, and he went to go roost in a tree, and something got him, right? And I talked to a friend of mine, and we went over every single predator that it could be. And, hi, how you doing? But yeah, we went over every single predator that we could think of, and we came up to the conclusion that this predator had to be some kind of cat. It bit the head clean off. It didn't go for any of the internal organs, and it was preening the prey, right? So it's not going to be a dog. Dogs are kind of stupid, like not wolves, dogs, like domesticated or feral dogs. They kind of just nip at it. Hello, how are you doing? Hooga Homestead, yes. But yeah, so dogs kind of like bite at the animal and they leave puncture wounds, right? So it wasn't that, because there wasn't puncture wounds on the body. Most of your scavenger animals, such as like raccoons, opossum, foxes, they'll eat the innards first. And what gave it away was the animal was like, hello, good evening, Lynn and Lynn, how are you doing? But yeah, so because there was grooming done to the chicken, it left us with some kind of feline. Now, that feline could be a mountain lion, or it could be a bobcat. I know, right, just great. I'm hoping it's a bobcat, y'all. I cannot deal with another mountain lion. Last year we had one that Danny saw him during our last snowstorm last year, and he was down at the end of the road, and Danny said he looked pretty big. I don't want to deal with that. I want a bobcat. And the problem with predators is a lot of fish and game wardens will tell you it is easier to deal with the predators you have than getting a new predator in. So, for instance, it's easier to train what we have now, hopefully a bobcat, not a mountain lion. It's easier to train that to stay the heck away from my chickens than to get something new in, probably young, probably a juvenile who doesn't understand what people is. And I have more than just chickens. I have my rabbits, I have my goat, I have my horses, I have dogs. I just kicked him out of the office because he was getting a little too needy. My little Volhound, Thor. I'm terrified something's going to grab that guy. And he was the one who chased the thing off the other night. Like, I let him go out potty, and all of a sudden I hear him growling and going about, and he's the one who came back around with, like, the chicken, like, I did a good thing, look, Mom, I brought it back. Like, thanks, a little too late, but, like, he was the one who went and chased that predator off. And, like, that's why I'm hoping it's a bobcat, and he just didn't get lucky with a mountain lion. And then my neighbor, that way, not this one, but the one over this way, like, she's 2 neighbors down. She called me a few weeks ago to tell me that her dog actually got nabbed by something, like something actually went after and it got it. And she thinks it was a mountain lion. Again, I'm hoping we don't have a mountain lion again this year. I don't need any more mountain lions. I have too many livestock to worry about that. And, the best we can do is for something like that, the best we can do is call Fish and Wildlife and hope that they take care of it and get it out of here and it's not replaced by something. And the thing is because it's winter, they move down the mountain to warmer climates. So we're kind of stuck with it until March or April. Yeah, it's scary, and, they don't come out during the day most of the time, so I don't have to necessarily worry about, the kids I just have to worry about at night, like the goat and everything. So that's something I'm trying to make the area more predator proof. I'm not going to make the same mistake I made last year with my grow out tractors for the rabbits. Um, on my grow out tractors for the rabbits, I used chicken wire, and I lost a few babies because we had a raccoon that would stick his fingers in the chicken wire and rip it open. So, and that actually happened not only with one of our rabbit litters, it also happened with a couple of our chickens. So we can't use chicken wire up here because the raccoons know how to tear the chicken wire open. These coons are smart as heck, and they're big raccoons too. They are huge. They're like 20, 30 pounds. They're fat. They're really fat. So our biggest worry here is foxes and pigeons. You're gonna have to tell me why you're worried about pigeons. I need to know the background of why you are worried about pigeons. Please tell me the background about pigeons. But yeah, we do have a lot of big predators up here, and it can be very scary. So now instead of using chicken wire, we use like cage wiring, like the small square gauges. Uh, Basically, if you've ever seen rabbit hutches that have the half inch by half inch, that's what we use all the way around, and we bolt them in. Pigeons eat all things green or edible. Okay, legit, I can see that. Pigeons are, I've always heard them referenced as rats of the sky. I can definitely see where that could be a problem. Um, yeah, that would definitely be a problem. But at least with pigeons, I don't think they could kill you. That'd be an interesting theory. Could pigeons band together to take over the universe? Maybe. Maybe the pigeons would take over the universe. But who knows? I would definitely trade for pigeons. Right now we have magpies. If you don't know what a magpie is, they're kind of like a crow almost. They have a black head, shoulders, and tail, and a white breast, and their tail is about this long. It's just a long tail. And these guys have a death wish because they will sit there and play with my dog Kiwi, my husky, and they'll tease her and they'll jump down to her face and she'll snap at them and then they'll fly away and they think they're funny. Sounds like the odd thriller movie. Yes, birds. Yes. Or have you ever seen the old Stephen King movie, Crows or Crow? Yes. I love 80s, 90s horror flicks. My mother raised us on them. When I was like 3, 4, 5 years old, I was watching like the Anaconda movies and the crocodile movies, the ones about the giant crocodile, Lake Placid, yes. I grew up on those things. Those things didn't scare me, right? The giant animals didn't scare me. The ones that scared me is my mother showed me the old movie Volcano, and ever since she showed me that as a little kid, I am now no, I haven't seen that one. It's your typical like 80s 90s like cheeky cheesy horror film, like low budget style, like the crows look so fake. I love it. I could fall asleep to that. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, is like those old hokey like movies. Crows are buggers here too. They just a second everything. Yes, yes. Crows are interesting. Crows are, apparently you can train them though. Like you can train them to bring you like little treasures and shiny things. And I think that I want to train our magpies to do that. I want the magpies to bring me shiny things. And I saw somebody on TikTok who are like, "This is my get rich slow plan. I'm going to have the crows bring me little gifts and trinkets, and maybe I can make money off of it." And I thought that was funny. But yeah, so predators is another big one. We're being more careful with our rabbit tractors and our grow out pens. Just because I don't want to lose anything else to predators this year, especially like our smaller livestock. We haven't had problems with our larger livestock, it's the smaller livestock. And that kind of brings me into our next thing is, I don't think we're going to stick with chickens and ducks. Like, to be honest, like we still have them. We still have our chickens and we still have our ducks. Crows use tools. Not many beings display these traits. Yes, crows are very clever. And they can also. There are certain crows that have the right genetic attributes to be able to like speak. like not quite like at a parrot level, but they can do like easy words, and apparently they are evolving to use their tongue like a lot of parrots do to be able to mimic humans. So that's really interesting. Um, but yeah, so I think we are switching our main meat, like our main poultry meat source around. Mimic, yes, mimic. They are starting to mimic, yes. Um, but yeah, so we've decided ducks are too messy. We still have the ducks. We still have Huey, Dewey, and Louie, our three amigos, our annoyances who they like to hiss and quack at me as I go by, but then chase me around for food. They are funny little buggers. They are funny. Um, they also will sit there and like track you as you go around the homestead, but the ducks are too dirty. We don't necessarily like the ducks because of the mess they make, and then also they they like to be freeloaders. Our In the UK we have ravens who can mimic very well. Do you have ravens in the States? Yes, there are some areas that have ravens over crows, although they are constantly misidentified for one another because they're kind of like interchangeable look wise. I think ravens are slightly larger than crows, but I'm not a bird expert, so I can totally be talking out my butt. So, yeah, we do have ravens in some areas. Crows are more common from my understanding. So, we're not going to do ducks. And then with chickens, we're having issues with the laying, of course, because it's it gets cold and we have that dark weather, and right now I'm buying store eggs because I'm getting one egg a day out of everyone, maybe two if I'm lucky. I'm buying store eggs again. Yay. So they're freeloaders. And then also with the chickens, they were when we got the meat roosters, and we did a heritage breed because they were cheaper to get. Right now, Cornish crosses on Meyer are like. I was talking to a friend about it today. She said that they range anywhere from 3 to 450 a bird, which is a really outrageous price. Because not only are you buying the bird, you're raising the bird, you're feeding the bird, and that's a lot of money. And we got our heritage at $1 a pop, and then we got 50 of those, and they grew out pretty well. They were about ready to butcher at 12 weeks. We waited kind of to 16 to 20 for some of them, just because we were kind of dragging our feet a little bit because, well, we were just dragging our feet. Danny and I don't necessarily enjoy butchering. Like, we do it, but we don't enjoy it. So we would find any excuse not to butcher. So they just kept pushing out the length of which we kept them because we just didn't want to. Like, every time I mention butchering, it's like, yeah, we'll do it next week. And it takes us both sitting down with each other, looking at each other and being like, we need to butcher this out today. Get it done. So it's one of those things where we let them go longer than we probably should have. There was a lot of feathers. They were slower to grow out. They're being kind of lazy on their laying. We've lost quite a few to predators because they're idiots. Idiots from a standpoint of they will jump directly into my husky's mouth if given the chance. I'm not kidding you. These roosters will sit on the fence line, and Kiwi will lay under the fence line looking up like, haha, I see you. And then they'll jump out of their enclosure. So we've lost a few to that. And we've gotten better with her. She's gotten out of the puppy phase, so she'll chase them, but she'll just like lay there and wait for us to come get them from her. So she's doing amazing on that. Here's my niece's chickens are starting to. I need their luck. I need their luck because mine are freeloaders. They are lazy freeloaders. I'm a softie when it comes to such things. I could not do it. To be honest, I'm a softie too. Like, I have a buck out in my barn. Some of you know Coco, my caster buck. He's I'm very back and forth with him. He needs butchered. That's all there is. He's not the quality that I want to continue in my program. He's been dropping weight, and I've been throwing feed into him, and he's still acting fine, but he's harder to keep weight on, and I need to check to see if he has She blessed us with eggs. Yes. You want to trade? I don't know what you like. You want to trade something for fresh eggs? I'm sick of store eggs. The store eggs are getting to me. I miss having fresh eggs, but I have a buck out there, and I'm hem hawing. I need to butcher him out, but I just don't want to. I will be on in just a few minutes. I have some things to do. How long will you be on? I'm planning on being on for about an hour, blessed with pets. Right now I'm about 25 minutes in. Pink, green, and white. Oh, so are they Easter eggers, like the olive leggers? Oh, I love those. We didn't get any of those in our like barnyard like mix, and I was kind of sad. We got brown and white layers. Yes, eggs are so cool. I want fowl this year. I've been saving up on what I. So I have a solution for you. Give me 2 seconds. I'll see you in just a little bit, blessed with pets. Instead of doing chickens or ducks, I have a different. Just wait right here. Wait. Just 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds, guys. I have a solution for all of your poultry fowl needs. I'll even make how foul it is jokes. These guys. This guy's uptown. Used to spend so much on eggs. I don't miss it either when they're laying. These guys. Instead of going with ducks or going with chickens, quail. Join me on the quail train. These guys are babies yet, but I have these guys. They're cuties. And oh, hi baby. Oh. But yeah. Quail. I have these guys, and then I'll show you the other ones. I think we call them tuxedos or penguins. I'll show you. And then we also have these guys. Look at that. Look at that color. They're just like little striped guys. They remind me of barred rocks almost. But look at these. Instead of going for chicken. Wait, what drawer did you just pull them out from? They're not in a drawer. They're in a brooder under my desk. I haven't stooped so low as to hiding things in my desk drawers yet. If Danny puts a limit on how many animals. I've watched your quail videos. I have quail in mine too. Such less hassle than chickens or ducks. I'm on your. Yes, I would say I'm enjoying these guys, and thank you so much for stopping in and looking at all my videos and like saying hi. Like I love interacting with y'all and I love seeing y'all. But these guys are cute. These guys are really cute. I can't wait. They're almost completely feathered out. They have some places in their chest that aren't quite feathered out, and they have a couple of places on their back. I'm gonna go put him underneath his light. Thank you, ladies. Hello. Oh, there's your buddy's back. Let me get this back set up so you guys don't fly out, because the last thing I need is for y'all to fly out. All right. Yes, I'm not pulling them out of a desk drawer yet. With that being said, that would be a good idea. A brooder in a desk drawer. Okay, y'all are giving me ideas, and I love it. I love it. Because, yes, they're in a brooder. You can see the red light right here. And then if you look right there, that's the edge of the tub. Yes, so they're not in a desk drawer yet. That's actually, that might be an idea. I have an old boudoir. It's like a swinging cabinet thing that I'm stealing basically I'm stealing the hardware off of it and I'm turning it into nesting boxes. But that would make an excellent, and technically it does have drawers. That would make an excellent brooder too. Okay, guys, I have problems, okay? I find free things on the side of the road, right? And Danny and I will be like, oh my gosh, that'll be great for XYZ. And then we bring it home, we dismantle it, and we turn it into other things. So I have some very weird things on the property. I have an old wine, it's like a wine rack, but it's not like a normal wine rack, right? It's like a box wine rack, like the kind you see at the wine stores that are all fancy. And I've kicked it apart to oblivion. and it has like nice plywood, and I've used that to make nesting boxes because I don't know about you, but Tractor Supply sells their nesting boxes for like $20 a pop. Why would I buy nesting boxes at $20 a pop when I can scavenge for like plywood that's for free and just build it? Because I don't want to pay $20 a pop to build nesting boxes. It's just, and it's a bunch of wood put together in a box, right? And I don't, you know what $20 is better for? More bunnies. I'm so glad Danny is not watching this live stream because he would be sitting there like, no more bunnies. Repurposing is the best way. Yes, I agree. I love reusing and recycling things. I just like for instance, my one coop I had out last year that it was like a starter coop. It was kind of falling apart. It wasn't predator safe. Um, I tore the run off of it. I have all the wire. I've reused the wire on my rabbit hutches that are inside my barn, so they're safe. I have three sheds and they are not full, but half full of I may use. So I get you the yes. I may use this. This might be important later. Danny has tried to limit my may use to a corner of the property. He tries to keep me to a corner of the property of things I am allowed to keep. It doesn't work very well. Like we tear a part of our fence down from the it's from the 70s, right? And it's just digging my heels in more because we just used that wood yesterday. We used that wood yesterday to fix another part of the fence. Why would I get rid of perfectly good wood that can fix another part of my fence later on? It works. It works. I promise it works. And we don't need to buy like wood prices are through the wood like through the roof right now. So I don't want to go spend like the big thick. So they're like this thick, right? And they're like 12 foot long by 6 foot wide. Those are like 20 to $50 depending on where you're getting it, treated or untreated. I had my husband stop the other day and pick up an old pane window. Old windows. Have you ever seen? You can repurpose them to make miniature greenhouses. Oh my gosh, those miniature greenhouses are so cool. So you build like a wood frame and then you put the window on top and you have miniature greenhouses you can use. There are YouTube tutorials. Waste Not Want Not is completely and 100% accurate. I love it because why would you throw something out if you can repurpose it and it's still good to use? It's brilliant. But yes, I am getting way off topic. Way off topic. So we were talking about homesteading for the past year. I was talking about the chickens and the ducks, and it kind of segued into my little monsters over there. So we're not doing chickens, we're not going to do ducks. We still have our chickens and ducks, and we'll still probably keep some, but they're not going to be like our main source of poultry meat. We're trying quail, and they are so cute. Ooh, I love them. If you've watched me in the past, you know I got my quail from Freedom Quail Farm. She is just like right down the road. I was actually hanging out with her like all day today, and we were talking about like all kinds of things. And I'm not sure if she wants me to share the kind of things that we have been planning and that we are going over, but just know the things that we are planning involve a lot of bunnies and a lot of quail and a lot of fun things coming up. And we have discussed rabbit math, right? And in our rabbit math, between our husbands, they've limited us to 80 rabbits. But we've decided grow outs don't count towards our rabbit math. And bucks don't count towards our rabbit math either. Bucks can't count. They're just there. They're just breeders. So the only thing that counts as what we have for those 80 are our breeding does. So I'm not promising how many rabbits we're gonna have during our heavy breeding season coming up. We are right now. When we will have here soon. We have mini Rex. We have Rex. We have Champagne Day Argents. We have Silver Foxes, and we have Californians. So we have 5 breeds, and all of them are meat rabbits except for the mini Rex. I should probably stop with the mini Rex, but they are a passion project of mine. I think you're right. Yeah, so I should probably cut down. I should probably cut down on my mini recs and just do my meat breeds. But they're kind of like a passion project of mine, and I enjoy showing them. So I'm holding on to them unless I get more into silver fox and champagnes. If I get into champagnes and silver foxes more, I might get rid of my mini rex. The only problem is my mini rex is what mainly supports my rabbit breeding program from a standpoint of I sell them and then I get money for feeding my other animals. And that's because I sell to a lot of 4-H kids and I sell a lot as pets. So most of my mini recs don't make it to freezer camp. They go somewhere else. So I kind of want to keep them just from a sustainability standpoint of they pay for my program. So I'm kind of back and forth on if I want to keep mini recs or if I want to open those cages up. I did decide though on my mini recs I am diverging from my caster lines. So glad to see you're back, blessed with pets. It's good to have you. I was just talking about my mini rex lines, which is kind of part of my thinking in the past year. So I'm gonna get rid of my mini rex. So that gets rid, or I'm not getting rid of all of them. I'm getting rid of my caster lines. So that gets rid of Coco. That gets rid of Blue. That gets rid of Saddle. That gets rid of Sadie. Yeah, Sadie. That gets rid of Chessie, and then that gets rid of all of the kits Saddle just had. So that's taking 10 out of the program. So sorry, I just got really distracted. It sounded like one of my quail was out, and which they might have gotten out. I heard like a cold sheep. They have different like little sounds, and that was a cold sheep. I heard a cold sheep. Anyway, so if I remove my caster lines, that frees me. Do you know if you can keep cockatiels and budgies in the same cage? I have a male cockatiel and a male budgie, and they get along outside the cage. So, from my understanding, when it comes to different species of birds, some are compatible, some aren't. Um, if they do well outside of a cage, you could try to put them in a cage together, but how big is the cage you're looking at, right? Because I'm not sure. I think you said your cockatiel is male. Is your budgie a male or a female? And because if your cockatiel is a male and your budgie is female, that could cause some problems. Just from a standpoint of that's a larger male bird and with a smaller female bird, and they can get a little rough and aggressive with female counterparts. You also have to worry about things like fighting over preening. So I would be cautious of pairing different species together. I'm not saying it wouldn't work. What I'm saying is I'd be very careful with that. I'm not saying that's impossible, but definitely maybe a slow introduction and again, depending on how big the cage is. If you have like a PetSmart sized cage, like one that's like 3 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot, that might be a bit too small to have two in. But you know your animals better than I know your animals, so you can kind of feel that out. I do know that when I had a cockatiel growing up, we had him. If I have problems, I can always separate them. Yes, that is true. If you have problems, you can definitely separate them again. That is 100% correct. Like, you can always take a step back. I have chickens all the time where I'm like, maybe you need time out away from your flock mates because you're a jerk. Like, I have chickens that are definitely jerks. But, yeah, when I had a cockatiel growing up, his name was Baby Bird. I know, original. I got him when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And, his name was Baby Bird. He was never in with any other birds, but when I went away to the army, my parents took him downstairs with their Well, was Tony still alive? No, maybe. I don't know if their African Grey was still alive, but I do know that Sassy, their little Senegal parrot, is. Good to see you tonight. Heading towards bedtime. Bye for now. See you next time. I hope you have a wonderful night and you get some good sleep. I know that like it's a work night for most people, so thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I'm leaving pairings to the experts and the scientists. Yes. Yes. That's kind of, I'm not necessarily a bird expert, and the only birds that I pair together are my chickens and my ducks. And that's just because I know a bit more about them, and I get really worried. Good night. Bye. I get really worried when pairing new chickens together. Even like I take all the chickens out of the coop. I spray them all. Don't laugh. I spray them all down with hairspray, like on their back, so that they all smell like hairspray. And then we put them together because it confuses them. They all smell the same. They're really dumb, so they don't know the difference between who was there and who wasn't there. So that's about all I know how to do from a standpoint of like pairing birds. That being said, I would never put my quail in with my chickens because I feel like I have a rooster. His name is Asshole, and there's a reason that's his name. Although my friend pointed out it looks like he might have a bit of frostbite on his crown. So I don't know how he got that, considering none of my hens have that. So I gotta keep an eye on him and see what he's doing or what he's not doing. That bird, I swear that bird gets into more trouble. I love that rooster. He's my big barred rock. He's a chunky boy. He's like 20 pounds of just fluffy massiveness. But yeah. So I'm gonna take those back to thinking about my rabbits, because this is being a year on the homestead and everything. I'm gonna take those 10 rabbits or so, and I'm going to remove them from my program. I have a new breeding buck. His name is Strawberry. If you watched my last video, I was holding him for most of the video and cuddling on him. We're trying to finish his grand champion. He has a leg currently. I'm going to another competition hopefully next quarter, and I'm gonna get another leg hopefully on him. And once I finish that up and I get his grand champion, I will be, I'll be so happy. But he's my current breeding buck, and this next month coming up, I'm going to breed him to Penguin and Solstice. And if I still have Sadie, I might breed him to Sadie, because she's the only of my casters that I'd be necessarily willing to keep. But I also, my casters are show quality and they're good enough to where I might hold them back just to sell them. Like I might just like wait on it because they're good enough quality to where, like for instance, the only one I'd be willing to call out is Blue, because she doesn't have a nose marking. But the babies she throws are beautiful. The cages are 2 stacked fight cages from Amazon. Each connect, that's probably too small, to be honest. I would definitely, I would probably say either a bigger cage or don't put them together, because that doesn't give them space to figure out their own like territory issues. But again, if you want to try it and it doesn't work, you can always take a step back. But I personally, and if I was doing that, I would probably do it in a bigger cage. That's, I had to go measure it. I act like I went so far, but just went across the room. Hey, sometimes I have things I have to do across the room and I begrudge it. I don't want to do it. I just want to stay in my spot because, I don't know, Newton's law of motion, Objects that stay at rest tend to stay at rest or whatever. I haven't been in physics now for a very long time. And what I do remember of physics is breaking my professor's centripetal force machine because we were playing with it. And we shouldn't have been playing with it, but we were launching ourselves across the room because we were spinning so fast. And when you're 15, 16 years old and learning about that stuff, and you have a machine that can launch you across the room, things tend to break, and I was not responsible. I was not a responsible teenager. We've been over this a few times. Me as a teenager, not responsible. But, yeah. It's honest. I was a dumb teenager. I did some dumb things as a teenager, and I hope I have grown from that because I did a lot of dumb things. I used to joust my horses with pool noodles. If that gives you an idea. We never got close enough to touch each other because the horses would freak out over it. I just got this cage for Christmas and it was expensive, so I can't get a new cage. It's a pretty big cage though. Like I said, if you feel comfortable trying it, you know your animals better than I know your animals, and like you said, you can always take a step back. Like if you go to try it, it doesn't work, you can always, separate them again. Um, to be honest, I'm not a huge bird expert. Like I have my macaw and I've done a ton of research on macaws, but when it comes to like budgies and cockatiels, I have very like little knowledge. If you guys want to talk about macaws all day, I got you. We can talk about flight training, we can talk about macaw diet. Um, hey, teen years are fun. Like 14, 15, 16, those are some fun years, and they're chances to make mistakes. And they are chances to like learn some life lessons and to like grow as a human being. Being a teenager, you learn so much from those years, and there is nothing wrong with it. And have fun, do some dumb things, like mildly dumb, like not insanely dumb, but like do some fun dumb things and just enjoy that time. Um, I I had a lot of fun. I was in band, I was in choir, I was in drama club, I was in 4-H, science Olympiad. I was on the swim team. I did cross country, track. I was all over the place, and it was a blast. Well, some things were, some things not so much. Teenage angst and whatnot, but enjoy those teenage years because you can do so much with the time you have, and you can try so many things and decide you like them or don't like them. I'm homeschooled too. Gets boring sometimes. Love the pets. But if you're homeschooled, you can. I can definitely see how it gets boring, right? But can you like choose your own curriculum and like what you want to learn and everything? I don't know like what level of homeschool you are, because like when I was like 14, 15, I was already working at going to like college and earning my associate's degree, right? So I had my career, or not my career, I had my classes like put down for me of what I had to learn, and I got bored. I sing at my church. That's my only social life. Hey, you can do a lot in the church. My dad was a preacher. Like, there's so much you can do in the church socially, and to talk to people. I do know that there are some homeschool programs that allow you to, like, there's like homeschool gym. They have like community sports teams like softball and soccer. You can like Google in your area. I don't know with COVID. I know that like there are certain like swim teams that they get a bunch of homeschoolers together. Like there are other options too. I don't know like your like situation or everything, but there are options with homeschooling to have like more social things and community theater, right? So if you like the singing and you like the acting, because I loved musicals. Oh, musicals are my jam. I loved being in them. They were so much fun. Um, Community theater is a blast, and we had homeschool kids all the time, and it was so much fun, and we were big goofballs. um, I was in one musical. It was called Seussical the Musical. It's Dr. Seuss but with singing, and it was so much fun. So like if you can get into like a community like theater type moment, that's totally worth it and so much fun. And I am getting on a tangent and digressing so hard right now. My ADHD sometimes is just like squirrel. uh, and yeah, it's bad sometimes. I'm sorry. Like y'all, I try to stay on track, but sometimes I get super distracted. It's why I don't know if y'all watch Teal Stone Homestead or not. Like she does like tattooing bunnies' ears and looking at her bunnies on lives. And I'm like, oh my god, that'd be so cool. I'd love to do that. But with how back and forth I am, I don't know if I could get it done or not. Like, I'd start tattooing one of their ears and get super distracted. And I'm like, I want to do that, but at the same time, is it a good idea? Like, right now I'm supposed to be quilting, right? I'm like, I'm going to get some quilting done. And I am totally distracted on live. I switched curriculum so much. I haven't finished curriculum in 4 years. I'm trying to decide if I should go to school for high school or homeschooling. Completely up to you. There are pros and cons to everything, and I would just write down your pros and cons and decide. You have a bit more freedom with homeschooling. There's more structure in traditional schooling, and there's more social aspects. Yes, Tealstone. Yes, I love her and her silver foxes. I I love watching her. I was just watching her thing with they had to cull clove, and then they had I can't remember the bunny's name. They just had a bunny with a split penis, and that's it's not very common, but we do see it every once in a while. It was like if you guys have time, go over and check it out because I've never actually seen a split penis in person, and I've never had to call out for it, but I've always been warned about it, right? And she has an excellent video on it, and she actually had she thought it was a doe, but it was a buck with a split penis. They took it to shows. This buck was placing and doing well in shows, and you know, I'll be in the ninth grade next year. Um, it would be a good time if you wanted to go to traditional schooling like straight in ninth grade, and if you don't like it, you can always go back to homeschooling. Maybe I don't know. Um, but you know, there is more opportunities with traditional schooling. Homeschooling though, it's from a parent's perspective, right? Because I do have two small children, I've definitely thought about homeschooling. Um, safety. It's safer. I can control the curriculum going faster or slower. Um, I can like teach them what I want to teach them or what I don't want to teach them. I have the degrees and I have the education to teach my children. I don't want to. I honestly don't. But I could see the benefit of if you want to keep your children close and safe and but I'm also a big proponent of if y'all have ever seen Sydney, she talks like a little adult. Like she needs small human interactions. Otherwise, it just reminds me too much of a little Chucky doll. It's kind of creepy. And I love my child dearly, but sometimes she scares me because she's a little creep and I love her, but if she comes into my room one more time, if she comes into my room at 2 in the morning and stares at me until I wake up and look at her, I'm going to cry. Because she'll do that. She'll have a bad dream, and instead of waking me up and being like, "Mommy, I had a bad dream," my mom said whenever I choose next year, I have to finish out with it. Then definitely write down your pros, your cons, and see what is a better pro and con for you, and then stick to it. Grind it out. I have no doubt that no matter what you choose, you can do it. You just gotta put your mind to it, and you gotta push, and you will do awesome and amazing things. Just stick to it and believe in yourself. And don't get caught up in anything. Just do it. Whatever you choose to do, 100% go for it. That's my model in life. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna put my mind to it 100%. I don't care. I'm gonna get it done. I'm going to do it. Somehow, some way, I'm going to succeed. Because that's just my brain. I'm just go. But yeah, my child stares at the bottom of my bed one more time, waiting for me to wake up at 2 a.m. because she has a bad dream. I'm going to cry. It's creepy. It's dark, and you just see this little figure just like this at the end of your bed. It's scary, y'all. Raising children is terrifying, and there's so much no one ever tells you about parenting. It's sometimes it's just scary, and you come up with the weirdest things. I was listening to TikTok about there's a dog breeder that I watch. She raises border collies, and she was talking about heat cycles and the idea of if you don't use a heat, you lose the breeding of the dog or whatever, and myths related to that. And Sydney goes, "What's a heat cycle?" And I said, "Oh, it's like a period for a dog." And she looks at me dead in the eyes and goes, "What's a pyramid?" Like, it's I don't want to deal with this right now. So I gave her the general overview, and she's like, oh, okay. So, and that's so funny. My little sister does that to my brother. Yes, right. Um, but yeah. So I gave her the general overview, and she goes, oh, so if you don't have a pyramid, you'll have a baby. And I'm like, yeah. She goes, so I'm going to have a baby, and it's like, well, no, not right now, not for a very very long time. And I'm like, it's what happens when you grow up, baby. And she's like, oh, well, I guess I'll just have to stick to my baby dolls. So she's going to stick to her baby dolls, and I'm 100% okay with that. She can definitely do that. But the stuff they don't prepare you as a parent. She's 6, he's 16. Yes, I'm so excited. Like the 5 to 10 year old range is my jam. Yes, 6 is haha, little annoying sisters. Yes, that is glorious. I love it. I love it. I love watching when like younger siblings annoy older siblings. I didn't love it growing up because I am the oldest. I did not enjoy it growing up, but as an adult, watching like younger siblings annoy older siblings, it's glorious. It's almost like a little payback moment. But oh, also another little Sydney moment before I get back to homestead talk. So Sydney looks at me. We were watching Encanto, right? And she looks at me and goes, "Mommy, I'm Louisa." And my gut drops a little bit because I'm like, oh my god, am I putting too much pressure on my child? What kind of trauma am I causing her? And I'm spiraling in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm ruining my child's childhood. I'm ruining her experience. I go, oh baby, why are you Louisa? She goes, I'm super strong. And I'm like, it's like, okay, baby, you can be Louisa. You can be super strong. But she like knows the entire dance on that. She's got the grudge energy. That is grudge energy blessed with pets. That is glorious. I love it. But yeah, so Sydney is Louisa from Encanto because she's super strong. I asked if she wanted to pick up one of our horses, and she glared at me and she goes, "Mommy, Mommy, I'm too small for that. I'm not big like she is. I'm small because I'm a child." I have my hands full with this one, y'all. Sydney is a little handful, and I love her to bits. She is amazing. Oh, I love her so much. So, I'm a parent. I can talk about my children all day, and we will be here talking about my children all day, focusing on homesteading. Focusing. So, Danny and I have talked about what we want to do with the property, right? We want to get a new barn set up so we can tear down the barn we have now. We want to completely redo our fence because our fence is from the 70s. It's trashed. It's trash. It's so bad. They cemented in the posts, but the posts are crooked like this. But they're all crooked a different way, so it's the waviest fence, and it's a horrible fence. So we want to tear that fence out and put in a new like white picket fence that's actually properly studded. My cockatiel is so mad at me because I won't let him out because the fan is on and I'm cleaning my room. He's saying what doing and flaring his oh poor baby. Yeah. Ceiling fans and birds don't mix. My macaw will look at you and go, "What? What?" Or he'll go, "Help, help me, help." Or something along those lines as well. So like if I'm ignoring him, he'll go, "Help, help," and you go up to him and go, "Rick, help with what?" And then he'll like reach out for your finger and he'll bite on your finger because he's a nuisance. But yeah, so we're gonna tear the fence down. We're gonna tear the barn down right now. Danny isn't seeing what I'm doing yet. I am tearing out all the baby pine trees right now, and I have a giant stack of baby pine trees. They're gonna dry, and I'm gonna put them in our firewood to use as like smaller like kindling and smaller wood before it gets to the logs. So I'm tearing out all the baby pine trees so that right now where the garden is, right? We are eventually going to tear out the garden, and that is going to be the new pasture for the horses. So they're going to have the front yard for the pasture, and in the backyard that is currently the pasture, we're going to turn that into the garden and like the backyard for the kids. So we'll have garden, a section of backyard, and then we'll have the barn right here. And then the chicken coop we have, we're going to destroy. And then eventually we're going to put an extension on the house. and we're going to put on a 3-car garage and turn the current garage into a master bath. Now, that's not happening within the next year. It's probably not happening within the next 5 years. But right now, I'm tearing out all the baby pine trees to see if I can convince Danny to basically move the horses up there so that we can start working on building the barn in the back. And he also wants to redo the porch. He wants to turn the porch into a sunroom, and he wants to put like a jacuzzi or something in it. I don't care about that. What I care about is I heard talk of a corner of my sunroom having plants. And I can have a nice little greenery area, and I can drink my coffee there in the morning, and it can be warm, it can be beautiful, it can be glorious. And yeah, like a jacuzzi would be cool and everything, don't get me wrong, but I would prefer the corner with the plants. And I can move, I have a huge bookshelf over here, right? If you watch my videos, sometimes I've tried to do like the, hello, good evening, wicked awesome gardening. Sorry, I have issues with my speech sometimes. Hello, how are you doing? But yeah, I have a bookshelf over there, and it's just full of books. I would love to move the bookshelf out with the books out into the sun porch, because that would be really cool. But or sunroom or whatever we're calling it. And yeah, so that's eventually what we're doing. So right now I'm chopping down all the baby pine trees. I'm taking out the I call it my old lady the old lady bush. Have you ever seen the houses that were built in like the 70s, and they have those really thick green bushes with the little blueberries on them? I'm not sure if the blueberries are edible, but I've always wanted to eat one for some reason. But I have one of those bushes in my front yard, and it's huge. It has like a circumference of like 50 foot, and the diameter is huge, but it's a huge bush, and I've been tearing it out, and it doesn't like me right now. It is prickly. I tore my hands to bits today going after that, but I got about half of it torn out, and I got like 5 of the pine trees out today. So tomorrow I want to finish getting the bush, and I want to tear out the rest of the pine trees by the garden, and then I'm going to move all of that firewood to our firewood. So I'll clear that section out. So I'm hoping if I get this done, I can convince Danny to start working on that fence line to move the horses out front. But we'll see. If not, then it's prepared and it's ready. But other than that, I also need to clean out Danny's garage. I have been purging. I have been collecting baby stuff and stuff we don't need, and I've been putting it in bags for Goodwill. We gotta go stop at Goodwill when Danny gets home. Danny's going to, just curious, what size cage should you use for a macaw and also for an African gray? I might get one or the other one day. So, big, very big. If you go by the old school of thought, the idea is they should be able to open their wings in the cage they're standing in fully, right? With that being said, the new thought is basically that you should have an aviary for them, like basically 5 to 10 foot of space just one way, and then a depth of like 3 to 4 foot, and then like 5 to 6 foot high. So like right now, Rick has a bell cage. It's an old cage, and it is an over-glorified decoration in my house. He's very, very rarely in it. Most of the time he's just out, like he's a free-range bird. Like he has a post he stands on, he'll stand on the cage. He'll go in the cage if he wants to tear up the newspaper. I'll change the newspaper out every once in a while. He'll go in to tear the newspaper out, and then he's not in the cage anymore. But basically you need an aviary for a macaw. Or if you're like me and you don't mind having a free range flight trained bird, there's that option too. With that being said, since Rick has figured out he can fly, if you are trying to do the dishes, he will yell at you until you pick him up, take him to the sink, turn the water on for him, and he takes his bath. I cannot do the dishes alone anymore. I also now have a problem of if I am eating dinner alone and Dad is not around to tell him off, he will climb down his cage, across the floor, climb up the chair so that he's sitting right here, and he will put his little beak next to my ear, and he'll go, "Ooh, want?" So, if you do get a macaw, if you do get a parrot of some sort, a large parrot, they take a lot of space. They are very destructive. They are very loud. They scream constantly. just for no reason, for funsies. They're very loud. Like I can hear Rick right now. How do you protect your things from bird poop? Potty training. I know that sounds weird. Potty training. So basically, what you do is you watch your bird all day, and when they poop where you want them to poop, you get a clicker and you click for good job. Reminds me of the cat I used to have. Second you started doing dishes, she wanted in there under the faucet to have a drink. Yes, basically, it's the same thing, only this one talks to you. Instead of just like meowing at you, this one talks to you. But yes, potty training your bird. So you sit there, he poops where you want, you click the clicker, give treat, right? And basically, you just watch this thing poop where you want it to poop all day. Click treat, click treat, click treat. And eventually, what happens is they will go to that area to go potty. Now, there's Rick again. Could I have one free in my room? That's the only place I have animals other than that. Yeah, you could definitely have one free in your room. But understand, if you have one free in your room, they're very likely to destroy something. My fireplace mantle has a chunk this big out of it. Where Rick one time decided he wanted to try it and he bit a chunk out of it. Yes, birds are super, especially macaws, they are super smart. So my macaw bit a chunk out of my fireplace. My macaw has bit a chunk out of a door frame. I got him an indestructible puzzle toy. It was a $30 toy. You wanna know how quick he destroyed it? Because it hurts my heart. 20 minutes. He destroyed an indestructible toy in 20 minutes. And literally the idea behind the toy is it's a flat toy and it has a spinner on it. And the bird spins it around to get the treat inside, right? And Rick decided it would just be easier if he would rip the front off. My cockatiel chewed up the blinds yesterday. Yeah. Macaws are little destructo beings. And I'm lucky for the amount Rick has destroyed, right? Rick has barely destroyed anything. I have a couple of chew marks here and there. Mostly what Rick does, and it's a pet peeve of mine, is he screams for attention. Like right now, I don't know if you can hear him or not, he's growling right now. He's making exorcist noises. And my house sounds haunted because he will make little poltergeists. He'll be like, get out. Why? I loved you. But he won't say it in his normal, like, happy voice. He says it in this gargly, like, demon voice. And then you'll turn around the corner and you'll go, Rick, what are you doing? And he'll just look at you and he'll click his beak and he'll bob up and down. Yeah, you can definitely potty train your cockatiel. Same idea. Basically, you watch for them to poop where you want them to poop. As soon as they poop, you use a clicker, click, treat. And basically, they just pick up the idea that, oh, if I poop here, I get a treat. But again, if you're going to potty train them like that, and your bird is like my bird, he will start screaming treat. Or he will start asking for food. Because I have conditioned him to think, oh, I poop here, I get a treat. And then also, mine does have a place he does poop on the floor, and that's because he has a perch, and then there's a bowl on the outside of the perch, right? I had a lovebird when I was a kid. No book was safe, just about every book. Yes, books. I have a couple of books that have a couple of chewed corners on covers. That's another one, but that wasn't done by my books would be a problem. But yes, so you can definitely train a cockatiel the same way, but depending on how the cockatiel is, it might irritate them that you're not reciprocating food constantly. So try it out if you want. Rick right now, I'm teaching him how to chase his own tail. He knows how to wave. I want to get a little skateboard. I want him to ride a skateboard. And then also I'm trying to train him to be a baby. So right now we're working on grabbing feet and flipping over. I can grab feet right now, which is glorious. And then also he has this trick called Pretty Boy. So I'll say, Pretty Boy, and he'll lift his wings up so I can like check to make sure like he's not fluffing under his wings, that he doesn't have any like tumors or masses or anything. So that's more of a check, like a health check trick. But it is really cute because he'll go, pretty boy, and he'll like lift his wings up and he'll like, ooh. He's sassy. I love it. He knows yes, so you tell him to say yes or you tell him to say no, he'll do that. He also knows the word hop, because you'll ask him to fly. And when I was trying to train him how to fly, I would tell him to hop. So I'd put my arm up to his perch and I'd tell him to hop. And instead of going onto my arm, he has now picked up he'll look at me and go, hop, hop, hop. So he won't do the action, but he'll say the action. So, super smart in his own way, but sometimes he's a little different. Like, what I want from him, I have to figure out how to communicate with him, because otherwise he just mocks what I say. And his new thing right now is he likes to, when I'm laying on the couch, I'll be laying on the couch and I'll be doing whatever I'm doing, feeding the baby, reading a book or whatever. He'll get off of his cage and he'll sneak over. And sometimes I catch him and sometimes I don't until it's too late. And all of a sudden he's right here and he'll go, kiss! And then he'll like give me a kiss like right here by my eye, and it scares me. I need to work on my harness training for both birds. My cockatiel should be easier than my budgie because the budgie is still not tame. Harnesses are great. To be honest, I harness trained Rick a bit. I didn't like the harness. I honestly didn't. I prefer the free flight. I don't worry about him getting tangled up in it. I don't worry about there being damage to his body. I prefer free flight training over that. And to do like free flight training, it's just treating them for stepping out further and further. So at first it's step up. So you treat them for step up. And then you slowly take your hand further and further back to the point where they can no longer reach it and they almost have to hop over to you. And again, clicker training, clicker treat, clicker treat. So the one of the biggest problems I also had with vests is Rick destroyed them. So I'd put them on and we'd clip it on, and he had a cute little bow tie on the front of his. He looked so regal. And yeah, he destroyed it. Every time we would put something on, he wasn't interested in doing anything other than destroying the vest he had on. But when you put like a harness on, or when you do free flight instead of putting the harness on him, he actually enjoys himself. He actually pays attention to you. I did the flight training, but he only comes when he wants. Just keep working on it. That's all it is you just have to keep working on it. High value treats, right? Maybe your treat isn't high value enough. So for Rick, right? Rick is blasé about sunflower seeds. He'll do some tricks for sunflower seeds, but if he doesn't want to do anything, he's not going to do it for a sunflower seed. Of course he knows what it is. You need a higher value treat. And that's just what it is. So if I want Rick to do something time now, I get almonds, because he will do anything for an almond. But he may not do quite as much for a cashew or a sunflower seed or a banana. Yeah, I fall into that too, to be honest. Blessed with pets, I should work. All the time, I will say I need to work harder with my dog, or I need to work harder with my cat, and sometimes it just falls on the wayside. It's just about consistency. Consistency and training your pets, be it horses. I use sunflower seeds. Try a different treat. I know Rick really likes bananas. He likes apples, grapes. He really loves grapes. I don't know why. He really likes grapes. He also likes Captain Crunch cereal. I'm not saying give Captain Crunch cereal to your birds. That was an accident. I was being silly one day. I was eating Captain Crunch cereal, and I was like, hey, Rick, you want some? And he's like, ooh, safflower. I don't know what safflower is compared to sunflower, to be honest. Is it like a mullet? They are his favorite. Not mullet, millet. That's what I meant to say. Is it like a millet, or is it like a smaller white seed? I said, to be honest, I've never heard of that kind of seed before. Like I said, the closest I've heard of is like a sunflower seed. But try different things. Captain Crunch. Right. Like he thought it was the coolest, and I only gave him a small little piece because I was being silly, and I honestly thought he wouldn't like it. Small. Oh, okay. They're the smaller white seeds. They don't really have many of those in macaw mixes, because we feed pellet with Rick, and then we use like sunflowers and like nuts and everything as high value treats. Otherwise, he just gets a pellet because I'm not going to deal with fatty liver disease. I don't want to deal with that. And then, of course, he has his fresh chop, but that's mostly vegetable. And he gets very upset with me when I don't have the banana ratio right because I use banana to kind of cover the flavor of the veggies. And sometimes he gets pouty. About half the side of some. Okay, yeah. If those are his favorite, definitely. But if he's still not responsive to that, try other treats. Also, like try fruit. Fruit's another high value treat that Rick is very good with. Um, I feed Supreme cocktail pellets. I've never heard of that brand before. We feed Lefebvre. Um, to be honest, pelleted is just most pelleted bird foods are best. I haven't really seen a difference much in brand. The only reason I feed Lefebvre, I think I'm saying that like Lefebvre. The only reason I feed that is that's what my dad feeds his African gray, or fed his African gray, and he feeds his Senegal parrot. And I asked for his advice, and he's had that Senegal now for 20, 30 years, something like that. And she is, other than being a little grouchy, she's healthy. She's a great shape for a bird, and you know, my goal is to keep Rick around as long as possible, even if he drives me nuts. Brown pellets, he won't touch fruits or veggies. He's my my feed bill would be so much cheaper if mine didn't touch fruits or veggies. But he loves his fresh chop. Have you tried carrots? Like I don't know if like you've tried like different veggies or anything, but um, that's insane to think about. To be honest, I couldn't imagine Rick not liking fruits and veggies. If um if I feed too much, he won't eat his pellets. He loves fruits and veggies. So, anyways, I was supposed to be talking about homesteading, and I definitely got caught on the Rick train. My pickle Rick boy. I am teaching him right now to if y'all have ever watched Rick and Morty, the I'm Pickle Rick. I've turned myself into a pickle, Morty. Um, I have been actively working on him with that one scene now for I've had him for like 6 months. So for 6 months, I have worked on him doing the Pickle Rick skit off of Rick and Morty because that is his namesake. He is Pickle Rick. I have problems and I love it. So yeah. But anyways, I need help from y'all. How do I convince Danny that we need a cow or an ostrich? Like, we need to convince Danny that I need a cow or an ostrich. I've been told no on both. I try to give them carrots, grapes, blueberries, strawberries, lettuce, and spinach, but he won't touch them. So what? Have you tried bananas and apples? Those are two that I know that are really popular with the parrots I know. It's so weird he doesn't eat fruits and veggies. Like I believe you. It's like I'm just sitting here like, oh my gosh, like it's like he's a special boy. He's the specialist. But yeah, so I need help convincing my husband that we need a cow or an ostrich. I think that would be a glorious new addition to the homestead. A cow or an ostrich. I would prefer the ostrich because I think that would be the funniest. My neighbor didn't like the roosters. He thought they were too noisy. He doesn't like the horses too much either. Um, so I think he's a bird person, right? He loves birds. Why not get an ostrich? He would love that. I'm antagonistic and I'm not sorry. He he doesn't. A little backstory. I had just given birth to my daughter a month early, and I had just come home from the hospital. I was worn out, and I was feeding the horses, and he made a comment about how we hadn't raked up the manure in a week, and it was kind of piling up. And I was like, "Oh, I just had a baby, and I'm tired." He's like, well, it's getting a little unsightly. Y'all, I was sleep deprived. I was this close from losing it. And it got to me. That comment got to me because I'm normally really good about keeping everything pretty clean. And he got to me. And now I want to get an ostrich so I can put it on that side of the fence because I'm antagonistic. And I feel like that would be glorious. I want an ostrich. But a cow would work too. I think a cow would work too. And the thing is like, apparently an ostrich can provide. I've had my bird since September 2021. My last bird got eaten by my cat while we were not home. We didn't know how the cat got inside. Oh, geez, that's traumatizing. Like, that's really traumatizing. I'm so sorry that happened. That's hard. Like, I would have, been so upset. My bird will fight the cats. Like, I don't worry about my cat. No, I don't like them around the husky, but I couldn't. If I came home to that, I would be a mess. I would be an absolute mess. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Cats are sneaky. Cats are very sneaky. I have the quail back there and my little white cat. If you ever see my little white calico, she's a tort calico. She's like the dilute. She's been eyeballing my quail. The last bird were a breeding pair of beautiful budgies. I like budgies. They're pretty. They're cute. I need a bird with a little more interaction. But I do like watching the budgie breeders on YouTube. I like seeing because they have some really cool color genetics. They do some really good explaining. So I like budgies from afar, right? And I really like the breeding videos on YouTube because I like color genetics, which I gotta get the CeeLo, y'all. If you look, the rabbit, I was so excited. The Rabbitry Center, they put out a video on genetics, right? And they said that they were gonna cover all the lotuses. And at first I was excited. I saw that and I was like, oh, the Rabbitry Center is going to cover color genetic? And I was so excited. And then I looked and it was a 10-minute video. And I was like, okay, maybe this is an introduction, right? And then I got into the video and they had like 3 topics. They had the color genetics, a recipe, and then breeding your rabbits in the winter, like how to deal with like the snow and everything. And y'all, I was so disappointed. I thought he was going to at least get into it. He wrote all the color genetics on the board of what each lotus was and what they could throw, but he didn't get into it. And then he mixed up the Bravo and the Delta lotus. He was saying that on the B line, you could get lilac or chocolate as well as blue or black. And basically what he did was he mixed up dilute with a base color of black or chocolate. And I was so sad because I was so excited because here is this prominent YouTuber. And normally his videos are pretty good. And I was like, oh no. And I mentioned it. I said, hey, I love this video concept. I'd love to see you go over all of the lotuses, but hey, just a heads up. You mixed up your B and your D lotus. B being your base color, which would either be your black or your chocolate, or if you look at your D lotus, which is the color diluted or not, being the dilution of those Bs, therefore being blue and lilac. And the only thing he said was like, he did reply, he said, thanks for the video idea, we'll have to look into it. And I came home to piles of feathers, but I kept the feather. No, that's not weird. That's really not weird. Like, you know, that, like, keeping a little keepsake off of a pet is not weird. It helps you cope. It helps you, like, deal with the loss. That's not weird whatsoever. Grief is not the same across the board. Deal with grief the way you need to deal with grief. You know? If that helps you, that helps you. Like, that's not weird whatsoever. But yeah, so I was so sad. I was like, oh my gosh, somebody else is covering color genetics. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. And I was so disappointed. I was so sad. I was like, oh, because I was like, oh, somebody else is gonna talk about this, and maybe I can ramble with them, and maybe we can like talk or something. And it just wasn't the same. So I'm hoping maybe like, even though he kind of brushed off my critique, at least he took the idea of, oh, this would be a good video idea, and maybe he'll look into it, especially since I didn't also like the way he was explaining the Vienna and how blue-eyed white works in his little smidgen bit. It was just, I couldn't tell with how he was, it sounded a bit off, to be honest. It sounded a bit off. And I really hope that maybe he'll go into greater detail. She passed away in August along with my beloved dog that got attacked by my goat while she was too old to be healed. You've had a rough year, it sounds like. I am so sorry that you have had to deal with it. You know, I hope that, you are healing and that you are, getting better from all of those losses. Because that's a lot. And, I hope you are doing better. Like it was just brought up, different strokes for different folks. Do what you need to do. Like that's the important part, is healing from that. Yeah, healing is grief. Healing, all of it is I have them in jars by my window. Hey, that's a good place to keep them. It's safe. You know where it is, and you can see it on a daily basis, and it can definitely help you. But I know that when I went to the army, I had it was really, yeah, that would be a really hard I'm so sorry you went through that. Something that I had was, I had a little leather pouch that had horse mane hair in it, from one of my horses. And when I was in the army, I constantly had it in my pocket. And if I was having like a bad day or whatever, I would take it out of my pocket and I would smell it, because it still smelled like my horse, and I didn't have that horse anymore because, yeah. So, that's how I've dealt with it before, is just a little leather pouch with like their hair in it for my horses. So, do what you need to do. Like, if you need to heal, if you need to like work through something, that's perfectly healthy. So yeah, I just, like I said, I am so disappointed that they got the color genetics wrong, y'all. It's my ADHD thing, it's my fixation, it's the thing I got so excited about, and they brushed on it for like less than a minute, and when they did brush on it, there was, that's sweet to keep the horse with you always. Yes, yeah, that actually, and the thing was, it wasn't even my idea. I have a friend back home who I actually, the two rescues I have out here, she's the one that works with the ASPCA, and she brings in the rescue horses. My two rescues out here are actually from her farm. She's the one who actually shipped it to me in a care package, because I was still in training, and she sent it to me, and I'm getting a little emotional. That was one of the greatest gifts I have ever gotten. Like, I'm not gonna cry on camera. I'm stoic. I'm not emotional. I have a child peeking in. Hello, Miss K. You should be in bed. What's going on? It's a school night, young lady. Oh. My first mini Rex litters. Yes, I'm excited to see your mini Rex litters. What's wrong, baby?
I'm hungry.
You're hungry? What do you want? You want a yogurt? Go find some. Midnight snackies. I feel it. I feel the midnight snackies. We'll see what she comes up with what she wants. Normally she wants a yogurt. If she doesn't want a yogurt, then it's a popsicle. We'll see what she wants this time. I put her to bed an hour and a half ago, so that's okay. It happens sometimes. Which means if she is awake, I'm probably going to have to start wrapping this up soon, because I'm going to have to re-put her down for bed. So we need a story. We need a song. Y'all, I need song suggestions. It's midnight for the 4-year-old. It's midnight for the 4-year-old. It's a midnight snack at 10:30. Okay. But I need like songs. She always wants a new song, right? I'm running out of lullabies. I'm starting to go through all of the musicals I know, and I'm running out of songs. like stories I'm pretty good on. She wants me to either read from her books, or she asks for stories. Like, and so I've told her like Rumpelstiltskin, and I've told her Sleeping Beauty, like not like the tame Disney versions, like the ones I remember from my big brain energy from like Hansel and Gretel, like the deer are so disrespectful. Right? Those deer are the worst. Oh my god. Like I don't like if you watch my TikTok today. Oh my god. If there are children in your room, cover their ears because I'm about to curse or something, and I'm on a live. Like I want to warn people. Oh, you wanted a yogurt? Hey, can you shut the door for me? Yeah, thank you. There were like 7 or 8 in my yard, right? And I walked out there. They didn't move, and I'm like, "What the fuck is up, Kyle?" And they all just like zipped out. Okay, baby, I'll be down in a minute. Okay. She's gonna eat her yogurt, and then I'm gonna wrap it up here in the next 10 minutes so I can put her back to bed. But I chased those deer away, and in 30 more minutes they jumped right back over my fence and were eating the leftovers of my hay again. So disrespectful. And the thing is I can't really do anything about it because where we are, I can't just like shoot them. My neighbors will tell on me because they would be great in my freezer. Like, to be honest, that would be a great addition to my freezer to have some red meat for winter. I could butcher it out, but I feel like my neighbors would tell on me because half the neighbors feed them. Oh, okay. The birds in your profile pic are your last birds. They're very pretty. Like, they are really, really pretty. But yeah, those deer, they're cockroaches. They are absolute cockroaches. They're so many. If you follow me on Instagram, I had like a 10-point buck on my porch. Why? What is the reason? The deer here are so disrespectful, and I don't know what to do about them, to be honest. Like, I'm trying my darndest to get rid of them, to have a safe space, and they just don't care. They don't care whatsoever, and I just don't know what to do. 9:30. Oh, it's 10:30 where you are. It's 9. I was confused there for a second. I was like, it's not that late. I wish I was allowed to have TikTok or Instagram. It's a cesspool. To be honest, it's probably best that you're not on there. Don't get me wrong, there are some nice sides to it, but there are also some very dark sides. There are some interesting sides to TikTok, and it can get kind of muddy in there. And to be honest, little Miss Abu that just stopped in, who I'm going to have to put back to bed again, she's not going to have those things for a very long time because there are too many bad people in the world who do too many bad things. So if I can shield her for a little while longer, I will. I might do this to 100 minutes because that's a nice even number. So in 8 minutes, I'm calling it quits. I'm cutting it off. By then, she should be done eating her yogurt. I can put her back to bed. I can fold some laundry, get a shower, and get everything taken care of. I'm going to have a list of things to do. Y'all, don't tell Danny. I know he's not watching, but don't tell Danny I didn't fold the laundry on the same day that I washed it, and I'm a little behind on my laundry. Oops. So I do need to get that laundry finished. I did a load of diapers today. Y'all, cloth diapers are saving me. If y'all have children in the near future, stick to cloth diapers. They're a little more work, don't get me wrong, but diaper prices are skyrocketing. I don't even want to watch videos. I just want to post about my pets and follow my favorite YouTube videos. I get that, but there are creeps. And you want to post those things, but, like, there's no way to say if you would be safe. Like, you could be doing all the right things, and somebody else would be doing the wrong things and put you in danger. And that's the thing, right? I'm Instagram maybe not so much, but TikTok especially. There are some pretty bad people sometimes on that TikTok, and they aren't very subtle. So I completely understand the worry that like your parents might have in saying that you shouldn't have a TikTok. I completely get it. And I also see your point on how frustrating that could be. But sometimes as parents, we want to protect our children for as long as humanly possible, especially when it comes to those things. And, it's kind of a hindsight 2020 thing. We'll see how that works out. I really don't want TikTok, just Instagram. Okay, Instagram is probably the better of the two options. I do love Instagram. I like seeing all the pretty pictures. The hashtags I look at most are homesteading, farming, and then mini racks. I'll just sit there all day, not all day, of course, but like my first like 5-10 minutes as I'm waking up in the morning, I'm just like, pretty pictures. I need to wake my brain up. So pretty of the pictures. So Instagram is like my morning like wake up. I haven't been able to get on there much because of how busy I've been. I've been like super busy, and like it seems like I shouldn't be as busy because I'm a stay-at-home mom now, but I have found so many things to keep me occupied and things I've wanted to do for so long because I couldn't because I was working, and now I'm not working and I'm doing all those things and I'm doing so many projects and getting so much stuff done. I'm so excited about it. Like, I'm cutting the trees down in my yard, and that sounds so weird, but I'm so excited about chopping down all the trees. Because some YouTube channels are like, go to my Instagram for a giveaway or crap like that, and I'm just like, nope, I can't. Legit, I get that. 100% I understand that, and that is super frustrating. Soon, you know, you could talk to your parents about maybe having a supervised page. Like my parents, for a while growing up, we would have like MySpace, Facebook, that kind of thing, and they would like watch us to make sure that we were safe and everything, to make sure that we weren't on like the wrong side of things. AOL, mostly I had a friend growing up, we had this game, it was a horse game that we both played, and we'd constantly be texting back and forth on like the live chat about that. We were obsessed with horses even then. It's never changed. But yeah, I'm a stay-at-home now, and I am busier than ever doing things that I absolutely like. I'm so lucky. I'm so fortunate that Danny has a job that I can be a stay-at-home. And stuff, I'm destroying so much stuff. I'm getting stuff like, I just cleaned my cabinets today. Like, I pulled everything. My brother finally got his Instagram when he turned 16. You know, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that number, to be honest. But I'm also a parent. I don't want my kids having social media, or at least unsupervised social media, until they're about that age. I might be overprotective, but I'd rather be overprotective and them be safe. But I'm also, I don't want to, yeah. But that's a good thing though, right? Like, that's what we were talking about earlier in the live stream. Like, building things, reusing things, repurposing things, so that like you're not wasteful and all of that, so that you can like save money and like recycle things. Like, I pick things up on the side of the road, not even gonna lie about it, I'm a bit of a hoarder. I might be able to use it down the line. I gut things out, I keep hardware. That is totally useful, and that's kind of what I'm doing all day, other than playing with my babies. Like, Sydney's in school, so I don't have her around all the time, but I have Anna Bug, I have my little itty bitty baby, and you know, she's so, I laugh every time I hear you complain of the, they are, yes, I watch Slightly Redneck. They are freeloaders. They don't lay their eggs. They're just eating food, and I love them so much. I love those chickens so much, but they're lazy freeloaders. One is laying. One consistent hen is laying, and I don't know which it is because I don't know the colors they lay. And I'm like, oh, they're such lazy freeloaders. And the thing is I feed them. And then they look at me like I don't feed them, and they yell at me. And it's like, why am I even feeding you? You're lazy freeloaders. I know why I'm feeding you. It's because I want you to survive, thrive, and flourish. But they're such lazy freeloaders. Which is why I'm doing the quail. And we're going to try the quail. See if they're left. Well, watch. I'm going to do the quail, and they're going to be lazy freeloaders. That's just going to be my luck. This is going to be my luck. I'm going to have lazy freeloaders for, like, the rest of, my dad got so mad because we had 17 chickens for years and got no, they must have been hiding them somewhere. 17 years, no eggs. That is, I want to say that's amazing, but that's horrible. That's just honestly horrible. Jeez, that would be my luck. My hens like to lay in my compost. Who lays in the compost? My hens. So I have to find it before the husky does. But, yeah. Alright. So, y'all, we are getting to that 100-minute mark. I need to go check in on the 5, or she is going to be 5. I need to check in on the 4-year-old, make sure that she is done eating her yogurt, and put her to bed for the last time. Because apparently we got hungry for a midnight snack an hour and a half after I put her to bed. So, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for watching. I have enjoyed the past hour and 40 minutes. I can kind of math. I have enjoyed it so much talking to y'all. They started dying one at a time, and my dad finally opened the coop, and they just, oh, jeez. Free-range chickens. But yeah, thank you all so much for, hanging out with me tonight. I am going to get the child to bed again. I'm going to get my laundry done, and I am going to catch y'all later. I have a video coming out Sunday, and to be honest, I think I have a collaboration coming up on Friday. I'm not sure though. I might. I need to look at it. I know I have the Super Bowl thing coming up. I'm in the Super Bowl collab. I'm making my grandpa's bean dip, and I'm making homemade tortilla chips. Enjoy your night, and good luck on re-putting the baby to bed, right? Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful night as well. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch y'all in the next one, and I'm really bad at goodbyes, so I'm going to cut it short right there before I start rambling again. But good night, guys. I'll see y'all later.